And we're joined by Kelowna Lake Country Liberal candidate Stephen Fuhr. Mr. Fuhr, a couple of your signs, I'm not sure exactly how many, were vandalized overnight with people taking something and making the image into a blackface. So tell me about that and your reaction.
Well, I mean, I went to bed last night having an overwhelmingly successful campaign office opening right behind us there, where people were, overflowing into the street, to waking up this morning with tons of messages from friends and people that I know saying, you've got an issue with your signs. And pretty soon, that turned into half a dozen signs. And they were all defaced in a similar way, where someone took a Jiffy marker or some sort of black marker and they colored my face black on the sign. So I think that's sad and unfortunate that type of sentiment exists in our community. And it was really disappointing.
I was talking to your campaign manager. I guess in any campaign there's going to be a certain amount of vandalism or signs going missing, and I guess that's just a fact you have to accept. But about the intent of this particular vandalism, how do you react to it?
Well, yeah, I mean, people knock them over. All sorts of stuff happens. I mean, the reality is, from a political perspective, I think this was an attempt to tie me to the bigger conversation that's happening nationally right now and actually in the world. I mean, this story with the Prime Minister is the #1 news story on the planet right now. So everybody's talking about, something he did when he's a teenager or a young man, which he's apologized for. And, if we want to have a talk about racism or inequality, I think we should have that conversation because it exists. It exists in our country. It exists in our community. But this has really taken on a different angle, and it's a political angle. And, again, the conversation is important, and I don't want to minimize the conversation, but we are staring down the barrel of an election in 30 some odd days. And that to me, this is more about that and less about the important issue of trying to stamp out inequality and racism in our communities.
Right. I mean, at first glance, this has got to be a hurtful time in the Liberal campaign where, the Justin Trudeau isn't looking so good today.
Well, I mean, if people want to get into a divisive conversation about who they like the least, Jagmeet Singh, Elizabeth May, Andrew Scheer, Justin Trudeau, I don't think that's going to get us to a really positive place. I mean, we should be talking about policies. Where were we? Where are we? And where are we going? And that's what actually matters. If people want to beat each other up, I guess that's part of the game. That's part of the political game. And when that occurs, I think it matters how these leaders handle it. I mean, Justin Trudeau took ownership of it and said he's sorry for it and recognizes it for what it is now, and identified the fact that at the time, 20 years ago, he didn't make that connection.
Thanks for your time, Stephen Fuhr.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.